And then I worked in Springfield at the University Plaza Hotel. I don't know if any of you know those places. Yeah, I worked for a Gimzun Deli, and that's another story altogether. And then he sent me to Pittsburgh, Kansas, to open a restaurant there for him. And it didn't make it, and I ended up staying there and bought a little place. Me and my wife. It was called Michelle's. I had my own little restaurant there for 2 years, and so beyond that, that was my experience here in the Ozarks, and we loved it here. And so coming back here, like I said, I'm very excited about what I'm going to do here. I'm learning the logistics, and I'm going to have hopefully some of you working with me. I'm a good teacher. I'm very patient.
That was a plug for work campers. We need work campers for the rock and roll. So
yeah, so we need anybody that can bake would be 100% plus. So
wonderful.
So once again, I'm very, very excited to be here. I will take input on. We were going to have a forum where we had certain parts of the group express what they would like. Too many people and too many suggestions is too much food, but I have ideas, and then I'm gonna put them all together. But like I said, I'm gonna keep what you have that you enjoy very much. I want to bring high quality foods, high quality service, and I want to try to get away from all the to-go stuff, that paper.
Yep.
So we're gonna work on that. So we have more plate service. It's more friendly. It's more family friendly, where you sit down, you can have dinner, and like that. So these are just certain ideas that are going through my head. Nothing's in stone yet.
So if you have feedback and you would like to see a change in rock and roll, feel free to grab his ear and bend it. He's open to hearing that feedback for sure. And we're all excited as an ownership body to welcome you and see what you're going to do with it. We're really excited. They're going to ask you, when are we going to open, and we don't have that date yet. Okay. Yeah, I know. I saw when is it going to be open? We're still going to look at getting that done as soon as possible, but we have to get staffed up. We have to get your feedback. We have to get the menu. I don't see this drawing way out. We've got a sense of urgency to get the rock and roll opened and try his food. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Is the sample section coming?
We've actually, so if you're really interested in helping us with the menu, there will be a time for feedback, and we have talked about having a taste session where we look at the menu and make parts of that menu and try it out and test it. So more information to come. Yep. Yeah. So if you want to email Amy, if you're interested in getting a sneak peek at the menu and trying it first, reach out to Amy. So awesome. Thank you.
So did you have questions, sir? Since you're a wine connoisseur.
No wine.
No.
Sorry. That brings up the next thing, rules.
Wine is a culture, and it's well appreciated.
Well,
and when I was in the service, I wasn't a drinker, and but it was a beer and whiskey culture. But when I went to culinary school, we went to Napa Valley Wine School, and I just suddenly learned about the culture of wine. It's growing, the seasons, where it's grown, the different types of grapes, the different types of varietals, all the things you see, the Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc, Pinot Grigio, all these different, and they all have a purpose. And the colors of the bottles and the length of the bottles and the deepness of the bottom of the bottles all have a meaning. So I was fascinated by it.
I'm hearing Brendan say that he's going to do a wine class. And so you just have to do the tasting in your camper. Sorry. Yeah. All golf carts will be equipped with interlock devices moving forward. Sorry. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
Swinging doors on
Yep. I appreciate you. Yeah. Stop by. Introduce yourself to him. All right.
See you guys. Thank you.
So we, again, are very excited to see this moving forward, and we do want your feedback. So, again, reach out to Amy if you're interested in that. As far as the Director of Operations positions, we are getting very, very close, and I'm hoping to have an announcement about that in the next week or two. So, super excited about that as well. We talked about the Volunteer Week. let's see, the Egg Extravaganza. I said it right this time, it didn't get me. So that will be on April 19th if you're in the area. Full day fun. It really talks about it in the newsletter about each of the activities. We will have a cakewalk. We know that's very popular. There will be a bubbly foam party if you've got young ones, or if you're interested in the bubbly foam party, come out. Of course, coloring contest, lots of hands-on activities for kiddos to enjoy, and then a kickball game, and then we're also going to have we're going to roast some marshmallows as well around the fire. So come out and enjoy that. It's going to be a great time. Again, that's April 19th. There is a board meeting that day, yes, at 3 p.m. So don't miss that either. Indoor pool is open. Outdoor pool opens May 23rd. Gate card reset is going really well. Has anybody had any issues with gate card resets? Everything going smoothly? Good. It was a learning experience for our staff. It was the first time that we'd done a gate card reset. So, and then the big news, rule changes have taken effect, been approved. So the 2025 rules are also in the newsletter. You can find them on the website. We added a button on the app as well, so you can actually go right to your Treasure Lake app and click it, and it'll bring it up as well. So with that, that's my update, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes?
Can you clarify on the trailers in your campsite? Pull behind.
Yes.
Like for the boat?
Yes, so a bit of a change there. So, and if it has a hitch and is towable and it's not your camper, it's a trailer. So any kind of cargo trailer, boat trailer, all those things are not allowed on the site. When talking with the board about this, because this is a big change, we started talking about boat storage, trailer storage, and we realized that I guess 2 to 3 years ago we started charging for that. Originally we didn't, then we started charging. We are reverting back to not charging for that as long as you're staying here on Treasure Lake. So if you live in the area but you want to store your boat there, there would still be a charge there for that. But if you're on the park, boat and trailer storage is free. So
And does it have electricity?
it does not have electricity.
Okay, so how do you charge it for your boats? My husband tournament fishes.
Gotcha.
That's why we bought into this.
Okay.
Because we could put our boat on the site.
Okay.
4 years ago.
Let's. Is there anything over there?
Traditionally, in those instances, if we have the space available, we have used temp electric or overflow and charged accordingly for the electric, for charging your batteries and everything for the boat.
So still something there, but it will come at an additional charge. But let's talk afterwards, because that's one thing. I've not heard that. That's a great point. That's not been brought up before. Didn't even cross my mind that people would need to be charging their boats as well. So
I was told it'd be $5 a day if you park your boat and charge it.
and charge it, $5 a day. So does that track with what you have? $5 a day for temp electric?
So
Yeah.
Don't quote me
Okay.
100% on the fees. I apologize for that.
Well, and the fee schedule is available online. So yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So where would you park them?
If you're wanting to charge,
Yes.
we would use either the temp electric sites out by the pavilion or the overflow, which is behind the outdoor pool. Those two sections, depending on availability.
Yeah. We've also had people bring up the fact that one of the reasons that area doesn't get as much use is because you can park on your site. So what happens when it fills up? If we need to add some more sites down there, we do have the room, so that's something we'll look at doing. And if you've got a trailer that needs to be stored somewhere, we're gonna make sure that you've got a place to store it. So, okay.
So can I ask why you did this?
I mean, I think it comes down to aesthetics. Having trailers on your site parked on grass has been an issue in the past. So, and we've got 2 board members here if you guys want to chime in on anything. But Gary, Don, that's the reason behind it, correct?
He's right. It has to do with us wanting to look like a resort, not a trailer park. We want the look and
The feel.
appeal and the way it looks to campers, not just you on your campsite.
What's $100,000 back though?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Look good.
It does look good. Everybody stops and looks at it and talks about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. What's your favorite store?
All right. Don, yes, sir.
A lot of the campsites do not have enough room. If you park a trailer in between your trailer and someone else's, you're impeding on someone else's place. So it just kind of keeps down some of the frustration. But yes, we understand your need as a boater. But we have not even thought about that, like Stephen said. But
Well, that's why we bought into here.
Yeah.
Because he fishes take a lot from
I understand.
Yeah.
And we've never parked on the grass and we've never parked on the road. So, and
We'll
if
have
we
to
do, we
discuss
park
it.
trucks.
And just kind of see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Same with you.
Yes, sir.
I would just make a suggestion as a new person here. If it's just charging the battery, maybe a solar charger you could put on there, and that would keep the battery juiced up, and a battery tender, very inexpensive. You wouldn't even have to plug it in.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't kept up on everything.
You have a what? I'm sorry.
I have not kept up on everything.
Okay.
And I'm trying to read your newsletter, so thank you
Yeah.
for that. But I'd like to know what you and the board think your top 3 challenges are, or just the top ones you're working on.
So top 3 challenges that we're working on. Infrastructure comes to mind as the top priority. Communication is another huge priority of ours. And then really taking a look at our organizational structure, and that's some things that we've worked on changing. Communication internally has also been lacking amongst the teams. So top priorities would be infrastructure, hiring the right people in the right roles, and communicating with our owners. So we've actually started a long-term planning committee that's going to help us look at infrastructure, the challenges that we currently have, and then put a plan in place. So over the next 5 to 10 years, we're not staring at our feet and going, what's broken today? We need to fix what's going on today, but then also be planning for the stuff that's going to break in 2 to 3 years, right? So, and that plan will go at 10 years. Did you want to speak a little bit? I've got a gentleman here that was in the long-term planning committee meeting that happened yesterday, so.
Hello, my name is Steve Bradley. I'm in the long-term planning committee, and we're looking for 3, 5, and 10 years out, planning for those milestones to see what we need to get done before that comes. And then we'll present everything to the board to get approval for the financing and all that. So we're basically, right now, we're looking at infrastructure and communication, technology, and morale for people who work here, things like that. So this is
Awesome.
planning.
Thank you. I put him on the spot, so give him a round of applause. That was awesome. Sorry. Yeah. So this was our second meeting with this long-term planning committee. If you're interested in serving on it or want to be heard, we sent out a survey to kind of just get general feedback. We had over 400 responses to that. So we sat down with the long-term planning committee, and the first meeting was, here's what the owners have told us through survey. Here's what they're concerned about, the things they want to see change, and the things they think we need to focus on as a staff, a committee, and a board. And then after that, this last meeting, I wasn't there, but they were breaking into subcommittees to really tackle some of these issues. So what will come out of that is an actual long-term plan. And I don't mean a plan that just like collects dust and sits on a shelf somewhere. It's going to be actionable. And what I mean by that is those will shape our goals, our annual goals, our 3-year goals, not just for me, but at every level of our staff. So if you're coming on as somebody that's helping us as a work camper or an employee, you know your part to play in achieving those goals. So we want to make sure, again, part of that communication, everybody's on the same page with the direction that we're heading. So really great question, though. I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
So we have some friends that are going to be bringing kayaks in, and those are considered boats?
It's not so much the kayak. If they're bringing them in on their vehicle, not an issue. If they've got it on a trailer, they're not allowed on the grass.
Okay,
No.
so they'd have
But if you have like a stand and you put your canoes and kayaks on a stand, that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, last night we played bingo, and did we ever fix any lighting out here?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Boy, it was really dark, I thought. That and across the street when we walk over towards the car, there's no light over there.
Okay.
So that's
And I'm
something.
scared.
And you're scared? I understand. George drives around sometimes at night and looks at people meanly, so I understand. I'm just kidding. Hang on. Where'd my phone go? Lighting has actually been, I'm disappearing at. Oh, it blended in. There we go. I actually have an update about the lights. Let me just pull it up here. I'm trying to juggle this. Okay, last year we had a ton of lights that were out. Let's see. So currently we have a total of 64 city lights, and we've fixed 24 of them have been fixed since I've been here. We still have one left that needs to be fixed. And then owned by Treasure Lake, we had 27, and we fixed 5 of those. And there's still one out in phase 4. So if we've still got a dark area, is there a light pole over there? Do you know?
I don't think so. I was just thinking like a floodlight or something.
Yeah.
Maybe off of the breakfast area that could shine.
Yeah. So maybe add some lighting. Okay. Yeah. I know out here used to be like pitch black, and these lights are working now. So we're definitely making an effort there. Next time I'm out here, when it's evening, I'll take a look over there and see where we could add a light, maybe. And
Even walking out here last night, I thought it was really dark.
yeah, the porch area is still dark. Okay. So the new lights, it's not going to help this, but I want to brag on it a little bit. I'm really excited about it. The new letters that are going on the building are going to be offset from the building a little bit, and they're going to have some backlighting. It's going to look really. Everybody like the colors on the building? It'll look nice and fresh and neat. Yeah, really, really. So we're working hard at that. It's taken some time. It's a lot. It's a time-consuming process to paint these outer buildings. So we're getting this one done. We're probably 50-60% done with this building. Then we'll move on to the indoor pool and then get to the welcome center as well. We don't have formal plans yet, but the lodge is also on the list of things that are going to get painted. So we'll see that updating taking place around the park. So. All right. Yeah.
Is Brendan going to be over all of it?
Yeah, so with that reorganization that we were talking about, one of the things that we changed was, and also Jeannie was no longer going to be able to do the breakfast for us. She was kind of stepping away from that role. So we wanted to make sure that whoever was in charge of food and beverage was our food and beverage manager over all of food and beverage. So vending, the breakfast, the snack shack, rock and roll, all of it will fall under him. So, yep.
So then you'll have like Amy, Brendan, and then you'll have to have somebody that looks over this. How's he going
No,
to
we're not going to be adding a bunch of manager positions for each spot. He's going to be bouncing back and forth and training up, lead work campers that want to step up and take a little bit more responsibility in that role. But yeah, it looks like you've got concerns about that.
I'm just trying to think of how he's going to be in all these places as the manager,
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be leading the process. He's certainly not always going to be the one cooking or running the grill. I mean, he's going to be overseeing. Yeah, and we're not adding any paid positions for that. But we've had work campers in the past that wanted to step up and do a little more, so that'll be an opportunity for them as well. So.
A good manager isn't doing it all themselves. They're establishing a team to work together.
Yeah, building a team and
so
leading that team, yeah.
Give him the confidence that he'll pick people that can lead.
Yeah, and if you're interested, another plug, work campers, maintenance, housekeeping, rock and roll, we've got positions, activities, so jump on our website and sign up to be a work camper, and we'll get that paperwork rolling fast. Yes, ma'am?
What's the rules on work camping? How many hours do you have to work?
24 hours, and you get your site. A week, yep.
And it can be split.
Yeah, it's split between, like, if a husband and a wife have a camper, they can split those hours. So, yes, sir.
Does 21-day rule still apply to work campers?
As long as you're not in phase 4, yes. But if you're in phase 4, you can stay in phase 4 as a work camper and not move while you're employed. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 30 days.
Yes. Yeah. with the 9-day buyback, yeah.
You might have to explain that to the new people.
Yeah, so you're here for 21 days, and I think George do a good job at explaining the buyback system? And
I think we can hear it and it would help us.
okay, so 21 days at the $12 a night, and then you've got 9-day buybacks, and the price increases for the 9-day buyback, and that'll get you to 30, and then you have to move phases. So, and this has morphed and changed a lot over the years. It was funny, I had somebody come to me and say it was about moving in between your 9-day buybacks and when they might have to move again. And it's just changed so many times throughout the year and kind of morphed. But you used to have to move at your 21 days, you moved. And then you could stay in the same phase but in a different site for 9 days. But then you had to move phases. And that was changed. So the way it sits now is you can stay in the same site, the same phase for the 30 days, and that includes your 9-day buybacks. So, yes.
What I hear you say is, and we come from a different campground.
Okay.
So whenever our 30 days is up, then we have to go from like phase 2 to phase 3.
Correct. Yep. Just move phases. Or call us and we'll move you phases. Yes, sir.
I had heard, which is bad just to hear it, but that they were trying to do away with work campers and do with work volunteers. Big difference.
Is there something in the future that's planned for going all volunteers? And
That has not even been a topic of conversation.
I was going to say.
Yep.
Something that'd be hard to do.
Yeah. No, we rely on our work campers, and I said this when I first got here. You know, we've got, during the peak season, we've got about 100, a little over 100 people helping make Treasure Lake what it is, and about 50% of that are work campers. So we rely heavily on that. Yes, sir.
So just a follow-up for everybody. When you hear these rumors and stuff, get a hold of Stephen. Let's nip these rumors in the bud, because this organization is back on the right track. So yeah, when you hear rumors, he'll set you straight. Ignore the misinformation and get it straight from the horse's mouth. Thank you.
Yeah, and so the number in here on the newsletter, that rings my office and cell phone. So unless I'm meeting with somebody in the office or I'm at home with the family, it rings my cell phone and my work phone. And typically what I do is I'll look at the email, because if you leave a message, it shoots me an email transcript, and if it's something extremely important, I'll give you a call back right then and there. If it's not, I'll probably wait till the next day. You can also email me at gm@tlresort.com. And there are times when we're super busy where I fall a little bit behind on emails. I do eventually get to you, but it may take a few days, even a week. So, and of course, you can also always stop in the front and ask for me. And if I'm available and not meeting with somebody, I'll come out and meet with you for sure.
Just curious, do you have a backup?
A backup.
You probably need like someone to help you.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got a team of, it's not all me. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Amy is our director of programs and marketing. So she's the one that puts together the amazing newsletter. We all meet and talk about what topics we want to talk about, and then she makes it look awesome and amazing and puts it into words that sound great. We are hiring for our director of operations. So those three positions are our main leadership team and head each department. So this director of operations will be overseeing maintenance, housekeeping, security, front desk, and all front desk operations. Amy oversees food and beverage and activities and marketing. We've got that ad hoc marketing team that is made up of staff, owners, and board members as well. And then I oversee the admin department. So finance, we've got, Tammy, our HR, sales, those areas fall under me. So, yes, sir.
So just one more follow-up to his question. It was a great question. So one thing you'll know as citizens, the surefire sign of a great leader is a person who surrounds himself with great people. And first of all, they pick great people. They empower great people, and then they support, and they just execute
the checks in the mail.
The vision that the board has. So
this looks staged.
So I only come up here 4 times a year, and with all the gossip and all the stuff I was seeing on Facebook and stuff, I'm not a Facebook reader, but I was concerned this place was going to go bankrupt. But things have changed. We now have great leadership. We got great staff. I now feel we have hope to return this resort the way it started 45 years ago when my mom and dad bought into this place. So I have renewed hope. And again, the sign of a great leader is somebody, they don't do it all. They surround themselves with the right people, the right staff, and they empower them. And then they have an open mic. Again, the rumor mill and the gossip was killing this place. Don't let that happen. Call it and get it from the horse's mouth. Thank you much.
Thank you. And we do have an absolutely amazing team.
This will be my last question, I promise. I agree with this guy
Yeah.
about the leadership. But what I'm hearing is, like, work campers have to go through the board to be a work camper.
So there is, yes, that is the process currently. So if you're a returning work camper, the board reviews any returning work camper and approves those. Yep, that is correct. So.
I wanted to ask, this is wonderful that Amy is videoing this so that, like, you know, when we're not here, we can see this. Why is this not done for the board?
For like board meetings?
In the board meetings, yeah, when they have the board meetings, I
It's-
can't find anything on.
It's streamed. Every board meeting is streamed and is available on YouTube. Yeah,
And you
it
can
is.
watch, if you're not there, you can watch it later.
You can watch it later. Is it live?
It's live, yep, and you can go and watch it later. I might have her
Okay.
show me how to get it.
Yeah, get with Amy and she can show you our page, and I promise you it is. We've got.
Their response is aired. But
Okay.
their meetings are definitely not aired.
So are you talking about the work session?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know what they used to come up with their decision.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we've got 2 board members here. The board also watches these meetings as well. It's great feedback for them to consider. There are times when we have to go into executive session or have parts of work sessions that can't be aired. But we do have those minutes available on what was discussed, and I think we're trying to do a better job at, instead of just a bullet point with 5 words, it actually talks about the discussion that was had. So that's a change that's happened recently.
Decisions, but not
How it
why.
can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Don, Gary, do you want a chance to speak to that, or?
Well, I don't mind speaking to it, and this is my first year on the board, and I asked the same question, okay? I'm all about being transparent with everybody. There's no doubt there's certain things that we need to go into an executive session and discuss. And hopefully we can turn the wheel a little bit different and be able to get back to where we had our board meeting to a live audience in order to be more transparent. But I can't tell you a time frame or the logistics behind it. But in my personal opinion, I think it's the best thing in the world, just like this meeting today, is being open, transparent, and let's stop all the gossip. If you hear something, say, hey, Joe told me this. That way, not only did you ask the question, Stephen can follow up with Joe. Joe, hey, buddy, what can I do? Because somebody's not happy. If they're starting rumors, they're not happy. What can we do to make them, as an owner, happy? And that's our goal. Hey, the family organization, let's keep it that way.
Okay. Do you want to add anything?
That's why I voted.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I've enjoyed it. I really appreciate working with you all.
I don't think some people realize how long our meetings go. We have a meeting every week, every Thursday afternoon. We have a telephone meeting with Stephen for updates. Then our board work session usually starts at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and it goes until 2 o'clock when we come over here for a 3 o'clock board meeting. So those meetings last a long time. I'm not sure that anybody's going to want to listen to them for that long. I don't even like listening to them for that long. So there's a lot of discussion that goes on, but we have talked about trying to make it to where you guys can see it and listen in on it. So that's something we're looking at. We've talked about. We've gone through a lot of changes and a lot of work over the last year since. Well, let's just say the last year. You know, it took a long time for us to get Stephen hired. Stephen's done so much in the last 8 months he's been here, 9 months. And so we're working really hard to try and make the changes that you guys want. I hope you guys can see those changes. And it's not that we're trying to not be transparent with you guys. It's just that there's a lot going on. And we have talked about trying to make it more transparent where you guys can see what the discussion is. So give us time. We're still making changes. We're still trying to improve things. So if you see stuff that you want like this, please let us know, because that's something that we need to hear your feedback. We want to do what you guys want. We want to provide what you want and do what you want. We're here for you guys. We represent you. So we're always anxious to hear from you. So if you've got suggestions or ideas, please come to one of the board members or to Stephen and let us put it on the agenda so we can talk about it.
All right, thank you guys. Yes, ma'am.
This is probably minimal. It's kind of a two-part.
Okay.
Is there any plans to update playground equipment? And the reason I'm asking is the frog is broken in 3, and that's my great-grandson's favorite ride. And he's always scratching himself on the broken parts. And then, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And then the other part is with this gossip stuff, you guys have a main Facebook page for all of us. I would suggest everybody else getting off that other stuff, or if anybody starts anything, just block them. Because there's no need in all this whenever we can have a good things going.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
Remind me which one is our official Facebook page.
Yeah. So Treasure Lake RV Resort, Treasure Lake Camping Club Inc. That's right. Treasure Lake Camping Club Inc. It's got the INC dot. That's the official page. And it says in the in like about section, the only official page of Treasure Lake. So that is the official Treasure Lake page. As far as the broken equipment, I know that's kind of part of the infrastructure conversation we're having the long-term planning committee. But if there's something we can fix immediately, like if it's that we can just grind down something and make it smooth where it's not hurting somebody, that's certainly a top concern. So Amy, can you take a note of that? Okay. And I'll talk to Mike, our maintenance manager, and make sure we get that taken care of. So appreciate that. Yes.
So we hired this new girl for finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was the idea to get rid of Abacus? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. But now we're like 45,000 more this year, or 4,500. What was it? I don't know what the thing was. So when is that going to be switched over so that we're away from them?
So it is officially switched over, and we're away from Abacus. Okay.
So no more payments.
No more payments to them. There were some payments that they requested be paid from a previous year that they already said that we were completely paid up for. And so I don't have an answer for those payments. As of now, our position is we're holding off on those. But as far as us taking it from Abacus, it is in our hands now. We did have to completely rebuild the financial system from scratch. So we basically started with a brand new QuickBooks file, got their end-year numbers when they were finally completed, which it took us. If you're sitting there looking at the clock, you're like, it's April, where's January financials? We didn't get their November and December financials to build our books off of until last month. So my goal is to have, by the end of this month, have January, February, and March to the owners completed. And then after that, have them by the end of the following month for the previous month. So,
I love what Jan is doing as far as her breakdowns and everything.
yeah.
Is there a reason that this gal, is her name Sarah?
It's Sarah. Yep, Sarah Farmer.
Is there a reason Sarah isn't doing that on the information?
Is there a reason that Sarah, who is our finance
Doing the
manager,
breakdown for us? I mean, evidently
isn't doing a
somebody's
breakdown?
it and giving it to Jan, and she's able to break it down. Why isn't this girl doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the goal and focus is to get the financials complete, and her role is not a CFO role where she's going to look at the analysis of the financial statements and tell us the areas that we're above. That's part of my role and my job. That's something that the board looks at as far as like occupancy rates and how much we're making month per month. Those are things that the board, and I'm happy to bring those information and those numbers and share it at groups, but that's not feedback that I've gotten. Breakdowns that people said that they wanted to see to me. So, but I'm happy to prepare that sort of stuff for the owners and share it.
It's showing its comparison year over year, and that's what Jan's doing. She's just breaking it into small chunks, but basically our financials show all of that.
Yeah. Oftentimes, because Jan will send me an email when she posts something and say, "Hey, here's what I've seen," and then a lot of the times it's stuff that we're looking at. We've already noticed the trend. Sometimes it's just informational stuff. I'm happy to have. We have a finance committee that meets and digs deep into the financials themselves and asks questions like, "Why are we over here? Why are we under there? If we don't spend this month, what's our plan next month or 3 months into the future? What does that look like?" So I mean that work is being done. Happy to share some of that work with the owners if it's something you guys want to see. But I've not. The people that have come to me and said, "Hey, I want an answer on XYZ on the financials," I sit down with them, we go over and I answer their question. Most of the time, I see glazed eyes when I get up here and start talking about like deep in the weeds financials, even though there are some people that want that information, and I'm happy to meet with them and go over any questions that they have. So, yes.
Some of the things that I've seen in the financials is a real pet peeve for me that the storage went up drastically, but yet our profit went down. And that don't make any sense.
Yeah, again, so when I look at the financials, and we talked a little bit about this in previous Meet the Manager meetings, there's obvious major coding errors. So Abacus wasn't here on site, they didn't understand our operation, and oftentimes those things got booked to the wrong place. You also have to realize that it's accrual accounting, which means the number you're seeing on a financial has nothing to do with what we actually received. Zero. So they recognized a whole lot of revenue in the previous year, which was out of the norm for some reason. So it made the previous year look great, but the next year looks lower. That number in the financials has nothing to do with the cash we actually received. When you look at the financials this year for like annual dues, for example, you'll see a budgeted number, which was cash basis based on what we pulled out of campground. And then we decided to show it on the accrual basis. So you'll see it some months way higher, you'll see it some months way lower. None of that has to do with the money we actually received as Treasure Lake from owners for annual dues. So
when I said drastically, I wasn't complaining because
yeah.
that was very fair.
Yeah, I understand. You were just like, well, where's the increase in the income if we increased it? And I can guarantee you we saw an increase, absolutely. And we were at one point, we were 89%, 90% full. And there's always going to be some turnover in those areas, but those are questions, if you have them, this is the time, bring it. If I don't have the answer, I can get it the following week. Yes, sir.
But you also haven't seen the financials that shows that increase yet, because that increase didn't happen until this year. So until you get those January financials out there, you're not going to see the increase in storage fees. Correct?
There were some people that were that signed a contract in the previous year that it would show up at the higher rate. Yeah. So.
And even projected, some people are paying yearly for storage fees, and some people are paying it twice a year, depending on the type of
the 6 month or yeah.
So you're going to see those incremental shifts differently.
Yeah.
Because of the type of storage we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the long-term storage, we invoiced everybody, and then we took those invoices, and on an accrual basis, if you didn't do anything with that, they would all show up the month you invoiced them, right? So you'd have this huge number in long-term storage. So we amortize that out over the 12-month, if it's 12-month storage, 6 months if it's 6-month storage, and that's where that number's coming from every single month in the financials.
Can you tell us how many new sales we have from those coupons? How many of the coupons have been sold?
We're over 80. And this time last year, we'd only sold like 19 memberships, and we're at 80 now. Plus, there's been some regular sales in there as well. If you go back and look at not last week, because I wasn't here, the week before last meeting, I went into some of those numbers in detail. I meet with the sales team weekly. It's having great success, and we are seeing a huge increase in the amount of sales that we've had. Matter of fact, we just dropped below 1,000 memberships available, which, woo!
All right.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, yes, sir. Yeah, so there's a 1,000 for 1,000 coupon. Every owner should have received it with their dues. It's a coupon you can give a friend or a family member or just some guy on the street if you want to, I guess. And it allows them to purchase a membership for $1,000 with all their dues and everything taken care of for that
I
year.
won't be anybody's friend. I'm meeting with George here in about 20 minutes.
So to this gentleman's point, we're brand new.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the tour.
Okay.
I got on Facebook, on one of the Facebook sites, and found some wonderful people that were on site that gave me the coupon. A couple of other folks who weren't on site said, one person lived in Arizona. She said, I'd love to give you my coupon, but I'm not here. And so I asked George about that, and he says, no, you have to have the physical coupon, not just the membership number and the person. But
Okay.
I guess part of my thing is, my wife and I example, I'm like, if I know there's a $1,000 coupon, I'm not buying in for $1,500. I'm walking. Right?
Yeah.
And like I said, I found somebody on site that hooked us up with a coupon to these fine folks.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to help them other than say, jump on Facebook and see if you can find somebody that's on site that has a coupon. Unless,
Yeah. They've used all theirs. Sorry, I'm just kidding. No, I'm sure somebody here would be happy to give you one of their coupons.
All right,
Quick meeting after this meeting.
We didn't all get coupons, because if you paid for your dues ahead of time, some didn't get sent out or something, but they said you could send somebody in if they wanted to buy one, and they could look your number up or something.
Every owner should have received the annual dues mailing. If we didn't, your mailing address is wrong in our system because we sent out a statement if you had paid early. Okay. Let's chat after this and make sure your address is, and I want to know what's going on with that. Because we sent out statements, even if you were paid, it said paid across it, still had the letter asking for the annual or for the capital improvement fundraiser, and then had the 1,000 for 1,000 voucher in it. It should have be sent to every owner regardless of if they'd already paid their dues or not. So.
And maybe in the future, we can work on making it more digital, so you don't have to have a physical copy, that you identify these owners, somebody has redeemed their coupon.
Yeah.
And then it won't matter whether you have it physically.
Yeah.
It's, you claim this information, and Greg and Karen have to say, we're sponsoring this person to join, and then it won't matter.
Yeah.
But
it's obviously a program that worked out well.
Yeah, it's working out great, but
we
yeah.
have to work with what we have this year and move forward for better ideas next
Yeah,
year.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Part of that would be in the upgrading the technology for the camper software to a new software that tracks better stuff.
Yeah.
So
That tracks better stuff, integrates better with all the other systems that we use, including our point of sale system. Yeah, it's a campground. I'm sure was an amazing piece of software when it was created, and we paid a lot of money for that software, and it served us well. It's getting to the point where we need to start looking at something else, but that does come at additional. I mean, there's an additional cost. The benefit of it is we only pay $100 a year to keep the license because we basically paid for it on the front end. But if you've been to the front, one of the frustrations we hear a lot is it takes a long time to get checked in. Well, it's like 18 clicks in that software to get somebody checked in. And in my mind, that's just that there has to be a better solution out there than 18 clicks. So, and one that'll integrate with our point of sale system, that will integrate with our QuickBooks, that will integrate with all the things that we needed to integrate with. So, absolutely. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left.
Check the color of her eyes, it's potty break time.
I'm ready to go out there and see what they've done on the Veterans Wall since I've been gone. We're out there scrubbing the stone and pulling weeds, and yeah. We're doing the Dave Ramsey method too. So once we finish with one project, if you're still available, we roll you into the next team to get the next one done. So, yeah.
Someone online would like to know, is it possible to make more pet-friendly cabins?
Yeah, that's been a topic of conversation, and that's why we made sure that 2 of the yurts are now pet friendly. So looking at that strategically to see how many we need to add, because the reverse of that is somebody that's allergic to animals can't stay in a unit even if they don't have a dog, because it's going to make them, obviously sick. So, and some people are like a little bit allergic, and some people are like really allergic. So, but yeah, we're looking at that. But there are 2 pet friendly yurts now. So if that's been like a barrier for you to trying out a yurt, come try out the yurt.
Another question online. Someone wants to know if there's an update on streamlining the checkout procedure.
So me and Stacy discussed it. She's going to look at dedicating each lane, like was discussed in our meeting, and see how it goes. There's some reservations on the staff side, like I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're more than happy to give it a try. So we'll see how that process works.
There's a suggestion in addition to that question. Someone would like to just drop their blue tag in a box and leave.
Blue tag in a box and leave.
Green tag?
Green
tag.
The tag off there.
Yeah.
Some of them look blue.
Some of them look blue, but they're green. Okay, can you jot down? We need to remake some of our tags. All right. Great. Yeah, you can check out at the Guard Shack, and we discussed this last week quite a bit as well. Ty, did you want to speak on that at all? Because there was some confusion over checkout, like when and how, and there's a sign, but it's kind of a confusing sign.
Yeah, the way we normally do it, the Guard Shack will be open from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. for checkout. We have money available up there to give back for the gate card deposits and key deposits. Outside of those times, you are still welcome to leave your green card and tell us you're checking out. However, we will not be able to refund your money at that time. Later on, the front desk will still have to process your checkout, and I believe they're beginning to credit accounts now if you're checking out early.
Yeah. And you can also just tell the Guard Shack, hey, tell the front desk, I want to donate that deposit to Treasure Lake for the capital improvement fundraiser or for fireworks, and in all seriousness. So, yeah. 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Now, with the change and the reset on the gate cards, not everybody's gate cards are going to be set automatically for 6 months or 2 months. Are they now going to be set for the number of days that they're on property plus 1 day, correct?
Correct. Yeah, if you're staying, your gate card will be set to the number of days you're staying plus 1 day. If you want a 6-month gate card, you can certainly do that. You just let the front desk know, and they'll load it for that amount of time. But with this new naming system, it's much easier to track if that card is your card that you're using. So I implore anybody that's watching that maybe have bent the rules a little bit in the past and gave their card to a friend, that is a big deal. And if caught, there will be consequences for giving your card to a guest when you're not on property. So.
Some may not know we have a new card system. You might want to tell them that.
Some may not know we've got a new card system. Oh, yeah, the update itself, yeah. So I spoke about it a little bit in the beginning, but we have the gate cards. We had never done a card reset, which means the card you're walking around with could have said Jim Bob, your name's Jim Bob, and it's set for a year, or it's only set for a couple of months, or when somebody would check in, oftentimes what would happen is if we would check the card and if it was already loaded, we would just give them a card instead of ensuring that it was only for the days they were here plus 1 day. When I first got here and met with security, also met with owners that had this concern, they were saying that they know they've got people coming in, they're not members, they have a card, there's really no way to stop them. We don't know if the card is accurate and addressed to them or linked to them in their account. So part of that is, that was part of the reason why I wanted to reset the gate card system in entirety. Just kind of, so we hit like the nuclear button. It just, all cards died, and which was very scary. We were very nervous about it, but all cards died. You come in, if you've already paid your deposit, you don't have to pay another deposit. You just bring your card with you. They reset it, and you're good to go. But now your name, all work camper cards are like work camper cards. If an employee has a card, it's set for that department and that employee number. So it's all accurate in the way it should be done now. So
if it's lost and it's out in the yard or whatever, you can take it to the office and they know
exactly
that
who it belongs to.
person belongs to.
Yes.
So that helps.
Yeah, absolutely, it helps. Yeah, and if you come and say, hey, I lost my card, we can also deactivate that card. So if somebody picks it up, they can't use it. So, yes, sir.
I thought, well, when they did mine, they did it till May. I just got it renewed.
Okay.
So I didn't know you'd get a 6 month, or I didn't know about the time you were here plus 1. I didn't
Yeah.
know what you were doing.
Was that based on how many days you were staying?
I don't think so.
Okay. Get with me after this. I'll go check.
I never heard anything about the length of stay plus 1 day.
Okay. That's
So
good
I don't know if
information.
they were put out. Yeah, I just got mine reset and they did it for 3 months.
Okay.
Didn't really mention anything about that. So.
Okay.
Probably more information to put out.
Yeah. Some training on the front desk and make sure that we're doing that for sure. Because if we don't stick to the policies that we have in place, this whole reset is for nothing. So.
No more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You get up to the gate and go, no, I'm sorry, your card doesn't work.
Yeah, and you can still get in, as always, if you've got your membership ID and you don't have a card at all, you can flash your member ID and they'll let you in. That's not an issue. It's not like you're locked out of the park if you don't have your gate card, but if you don't have your membership card or your gate card and your face isn't well known, then you might be in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. We'll figure it. We'll be able to look it up, but yeah, but the back, you're right. Yeah, the back, if you don't have a gate card, you're out of luck going out the back way. So, all right, well, we are past time, so I'm going to wrap it up. If you are interested in volunteering, I'm going to hang out right up here for a little bit. Come grab me, and we'll get you assigned to a team. We're having a lot of fun out there and getting stuff done. So thank you all for coming, and thank you for being part of Treasure Lake. Goodbye.